Have you ever talked to a stubborn person? Someone who gives the opposite answer no matter how much you try to explain. If you say don't do this, they will definitely do it. If you say this is right, they will set out to prove it wrong. Now the question is, can such people really change? Is there a secret that can help you control their minds and decisions without arguing? Can you change their opinion? Can you bring them to the right path? So, in today's video, I am going to tell you a great psychological technique by which you can quietly convince any stubborn, adamant, or obstinate person. Without arguing, without fighting. And the interesting thing is that they themselves will think that they made the decision. Although that decision will be according to your will. So friends, this is reverse psychology. This is a cunning trick that looks straightforward but has the opposite effect. You just say one thing and the other person starts doing what you want, and this is reverse psychology. The power of reverse thinking that smartly forces any stubborn, adamant, or disobedient person to think in your favor. Now imagine if you learn this art, you will be able to convince your stubborn friends and get family members to agree without arguing. Friends, remember that reverse psychology is not an ordinary trick. It is a psychological weapon of war. Its first principle is never say directly. Think in reverse. Yes, you heard absolutely right. Reverse psychology is actually the science of reverse thinking. The secret to success in this is not to explain to others but to make them feel that this decision is their own. There are people in this world who, if they hear from you that you cannot do this, will just set out to prove that they can. This is the magic of reverse psychology. Now you must be wondering how it works. How does it function? So friends, listen carefully. When you talk directly to a stubborn person, tell them that you are wrong or don't do this, their mind immediately goes into defensive mode. A psychological wall is created, and behind that wall, they reject your every word because they start thinking that someone wants to control me, and they just reject your every word. No matter how good and logical your point is, therefore, if you want to explain to a stubborn person, you should not argue with them, but you should agree with them. If you tell a stubborn person that yes, you are right, your point has weight, then for a moment, their mental wall collapses. Because as soon as you agreed with them, their emotional brain relaxes, and they come out of defensive mode, and as soon as they relax, their intelligent mind wakes up. And this is the moment when the real magic begins. Now you should not waste this opportunity. As soon as they relax, slowly and gently put your point across. As if you are asking for advice from them, not contradicting them, not controlling them. They will think about your point, understand it, and often agree with it. But if you tell them in the beginning that no, you are wrong, then consider the story over. Their mind closed, heart closed, and relationship ruined. This technique is not just for stubborn friends or colleagues but also works wonders at home. For example, if your spouse, parents, or siblings have a stubborn nature, instead of arguing with them, first agree, and when they are relaxed, then put your point gently. They will listen, understand, and the chances of them agreeing will be much higher. For example, if you want to say that you should not do this work, do not say it directly, but say that yes, your point is right. But have you ever thought that if we adopt this method, perhaps better results will come? Friends, remember that when a person is angry or in defensive mode, the intelligent part of their brain does not work. That is why it is said that never make a decision in anger. Because at that time your emotional brain is active and the rational one sleeps. So, before convincing a stubborn person, cool down their emotions. Then the understanding mind within them will wake up, and then they themselves will start agreeing with you. Friends, the foundation of this entire technique is based on only one thing. A person's ego, their self. The bigger the ego, the bigger the reaction, and reverse psychology quietly turns that ego in your favor without touching it. Now imagine if you have learned this art, practiced it, then you will achieve a new power level in your conversations. You will not argue with anyone, but the same people whom you could not control before will start agreeing with you wholeheartedly. Friends, if you are dealing with someone in life who argues all the time, who insists on every point, then definitely try this reverse psychology technique. Believe me, not only will they change, but your relationship, your conversation, and your confidence will all go to a new level. So, have you ever convinced a stubborn person in your life with reverse psychology? Is there any incident where you had to say something opposite to make a straight point? Then do tell me in the comments. And learn something new every day in life. Think new, do new, learn.